Oh, sorry, I was too busy smelling this fragrant flower. Wait, that's not what this is? Damn, I was wondering why this book didn't smell like anything. I did not have an intro for this video. So as your average 10'7" ripped bicep beast with testosterone leaking out of my ears, I can't help but go apeshit for a good, cute romance.
All your best acting is behind you. You're back to being a hack!
You gaslighted me!
If you've been around my channel for long enough, you already know by now I am a romance fiend, and today I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorites from the manga world. Now I know, reading. That's a tough one for many, but I swear it'll be worth your while. This is a damn good series that is so underrated, I'd go as far as saying this is the best romance manga currently being released. When this gets an anime adaptation, social media is going to melt down from its sheer levels of wholesomeness. It's really nice to have a bit of sweetness for a change, especially in an era where spice constantly prevails as the most talked about romances for being illegal. This one is real cute, real sweet, and surprisingly realistic. So buckle up, folks. As alluded to before, today we're going to be talking about The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Nothing to do with smells. But there is a manga for that, though. Alright, now what the heck do we have going on in this one? So here we got another good old high school romance, but this guy Rintaro, he's not like the other guys. He looks scary because he's tall and blonde and has earrings. It's not that scary. Never mind. People are really intimidated by this guy, and since he goes to a real stinky school, everyone thinks he's a delinquent. But in actuality, this man's the furthest thing from that. In fact, amongst his little friend group, he's like the least violent, and to top it all off, he even works part-time in his family's cake shop. One day, this girl named Wagari shows up, and she wants cake. His cake. Bam! See, that's all I needed to hear. I'm sold. Best manga ever. Take my money! Okay, but really, she's a pretty frequent customer who our main guy just doesn't really remember. After a weirdish first encounter, they have a cool chat, she's nice to him, and he's thrown off guard. Most of the time, this man's treated like the boogeyman, and for the first time, he wasn't being judged solely on his appearance. He's like, hey, this girl's cool. And she's like, hey, this guy's cool. Well, guess we'll never see each other again. Oh, we go to schools right across from each other. Oh, she's actually from the prestigious all-girls private school that shuns Rintaro's school. Well, looks like we've got a problem on our hands. Right, so this sounds really generic off the bat, like almost too normal. If I had $1 for every series that started out like this, I'd probably have like $100, which is a lot. So now why do I go as far as to say this is the best romance manga out right now? Well, Fragrant Flower does things pretty differently. It takes a seemingly by-the-book formula and decides to add a refreshing spin. The whole idea of them coming from two completely different backgrounds seems like it's gonna create a massive hurdle, but they work through it pretty quickly. That comes in major part to the fact that the characters actually fucking talk to each other. No dumbass misunderstandings that end up causing a ton of drama, no nothing burger talk. We get actual interactions with substance. Especially with a message like don't judge people by preconceived notions, the dialogue in this manga needed to be good, and it's apparent from the first chapter that it is. Wagari and Rinso immediately talk to each other the day after their weird first encounter, clearing up any misunderstandings. Good communication isn't just limited to the main couple either. If there's a problem or a misunderstanding, the characters will eventually talk it out in a healthy way, which is actually realistic. The story doesn't dwell on unnecessary drama or force a stupid villain-type character. Instead, it creates an engaging story around these characters' lives. This manga focuses on a very pure point in life where no one really has anything figured out yet, and that's okay. We get to see these characters grow and experience the little moments of adolescence. Those quiet nights by yourselves, being out with friends, the anxiety and excitement from your first love, the unease of the future. It covers all these bases with a sincere authenticity. It captures the essence of a point of time that audiences can relate to, and it remains incredibly engaging thanks to how good the characters are. If we're talking about characters in romance, let's be honest, they're not always that good. It's hard enough on its own to have a good main couple, but the side characters generally get left in the dust, thrown out the door like Jazz in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Here, however, the author actually gives a shit about all of the characters. Everyone gets their own character arc in a way, and it's not just a glimpse at their personality. We get to see their respective circumstances. It all feels just very real. These are all people trying to figure out what the heck it means to be an adult while also trying to understand themselves better. Any character that initially feels flat eventually gets a sort of interesting character development. And one of my favorite side characters, Subaru, was like this in the beginning. She's introduced as Wagari's best friend, who's a very uptight girl that hates men, and men specifically from Chidori. She is initially very protective of all of her friends and has a pretty rigid mindset when it comes to others. But the more she sees Wagari and Rinzaro together, she begins to change, and through some really well done character interactions, she is able to grow as a person. It turns out she was only acting that way because of some events that happened in her past and her deep attachment for her best friend. It's not like she's got only the one arc either. In fact, at this point in the manga, she's getting a lot more attention with another romance possibly brewing. Every character, whoever it may be, gets love from the author, and it's very nice to see the whole crew be written with quality. And in talking about quality, we have got to talk about our main characters. Fragrant Flower succeeds in creating two very likable main protagonists who have good chemistry. Every time these two are the focus of a chapter, even if it's just for a second, it is so incredibly comforting. There is again a genuine aura around their relationship that feels real. They're both really conscientious of each other's feelings and are good at comforting one another. They impact each other in a positive way, even if it's just them being together. Their connection is so great that I don't even care what they're doing. Their interactions are just fun to watch. It's a lot of fun seeing these two characters have all these new experiences and taking on those simpler tasks. I really think it's a crucial factor to want to see a main duo together, and every moment with them is enjoyable. One other really interesting thing about this particular couple is they have such a major influence on those around them. Their whole big friend group they've got wouldn't have been possible without them. They all had pretty different backgrounds, and initially some of them were at odds, but Wagari and Rinto's mindsets are passed on to them where they focus on trying to understand each other better. With that improved understanding, they work to tackle other issues. Their relationship is just so strong that it ends up being the guiding factor for the story, which is a really nice contrast from your typical high school romance. Overall, Fragrant Flowers is kind of built differently. It works really well in portraying these familiar experiences of youth with incredibly charming characters. The romance never feels forced or like you're being dragged along to a finish line. It's all just natural. And I didn't even mention this damn art style. It does an insane job at portraying these characters' emotions. Like this shit, this is some fucking cute ass shit. It's so detailed and heartwarming. Like, the mangaka did a great job with all the character expressions, especially. It adds so much weight to those more impactful moments. For a weekly series, this is insane. Like, I've seen a ton of monthly manga that don't even look this good. But yeah, The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity is a cute, charming, comforting banger that is better than 99% of that fucko shit that gets adapted. So even if you only like romance a little bit, go read it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go back to spelling this book.